Hello. My soup is still hot and steaming. I decided to put it in a big Tupperware bowl so I don't burn my hands. Let it cool a little bit. I made Souse, well, my version of it, which kind of changes all the time. Hello, who's there? I'm just letting my soup cool down a little bit. Just unsure if anybody's on at this time. Oh. Hello. Who's there? Now it's hot. Yum. Hello. Made my lunch. How are you? Did you already have your lunch? Hi, lovely 21. How's it going?
I'll close the door in a minute.
Okay, don't worry. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I made some souse. Do you have homework?
Only in language, only a little bit.
Oh, okay. You're back from the hospital. Good. Baking Diva, how was it? That was quick. Just had my evening meal. Now having a cup of this. Enjoy your meal and don't get indigestion yet. Hi, Chavez. I made a souse. Pork hock souse. Caribbean type. My Bahamian type. Inspired. My dad used to put potatoes in it, so I do now, even though the recipe doesn't call for it. But it's pork hocks. See, there's pork hocks and onions, and I put some carrots in because I had carrots, and hot peppers and garlic, and I didn't have any of the green seasoning, but I did put like a cilantro seasoning in it. Lime juice. Hello. Baking Diva, did they give you some good pain meds for the pain? Hi, Hazel's Reptile. Hi, Marianne. How's it going? I just finally got to sit down to have my lunch. More that it took a long time to cook. Because it's basically a bone broth. So it took like 3 hours to cook. Not good enough. That kind of sucks. I don't know what to say about helping with the pain other than taking the meds as maximum as you can for what's the prescription for, and don't try and let the meds last too long like some people do, because then the pain gets too much. Yes, grab a lunch, grab a coffee, grab a snack. Yep, please share the love. We have a few new people in here that I'm new to. Hi, Daddy D4. So who here has heard of souse? You can have chicken feet souse or pig's feet souse, or I do it with pork hocks because I don't like the feet. But you basically use like the feet tail hocks. Depending where you go in the Caribbean, they have different ways of using it also down south. Oh, I just tasted breakfast. You ate this. Well, I just came back from getting my daughter from school and stuff, and had my lunch. Yes. So let's see. There's a pork hock here. Let's see. It's falling off. That's how you know it's cooked, when it starts to fall off the bone. But basically, it's a bone broth with the pork hocks and salt, lime juice, garlic, hot peppers, pickling spice, and then I put potatoes, which it's not traditional. I just like to have something with my broth, and I put potatoes and carrots, which are not traditional. And they're super cheap. Well, they used to be much cheaper. Oh, very nice. See, there's a potato. I'm going to make pad thai for supper. My daughter just asked me what's for supper. Thinner ones, I think. I don't know. It depends on what noodles I have. Yep. Share the love. Yeah. Yeah, no, most people on my channel tend to like to support one another, and they tend to be good supporters. I say most because I can't verify them all, but they're all good from my standpoint, and I support you back. Hi, Tony. Turkey dinner for lunch at the hospital. Was it good, or was it like tasteless, like there's no seasoning? I'm assuming you're still in the hospital for like 48 hours or so. I don't think they send you right home after that. I believe she had knee surgery. Oh, surgery was yesterday. Okay. Hi, SJ Vlogs. How's it going? My soup's still way too hot. Yeah, I could have a taste. Do you want my... So what did you guys have for lunch? Or is it lunchtime where you are? It's a little bit late for me, but... Supper, what did you have for supper? Yeah, because you're in the UK, right? I always forget. I just think everybody has the same time zone as me. I know it's not true, but... BLT pasta salad over spinach. Sounds very healthy. So I made souse, pork hock souse. So there's a big, huge pork hock. I'll pick it up. Big bone pork hock, and I boiled it in a big, huge pot of water. I put bay leaves, pickling spice, onions, garlic, hot peppers, lime juice, some cilantro seasoning, and then I put, which is not traditional, potatoes and carrots in there, because I like more than just broth with the meat. And then cooked it for an hour and a half. Well, I cooked it the other day for about an hour and a half, and then I had to stop it because I had to go to the hospital with my daughter. So I just stopped it and put it in the fridge, and I reheated it today. It's good. You just have to. It's pickled. So traditionally, people have it hot or cold. It's supposed to be a great hangover cure. They usually will put in have it cold, and then put like fresh raw onions in it, and raw cilantro, and another green herb. I don't know what it's called, meti or whatever. And sometimes cucumbers or whatever. Depends on where in the Caribbean you you like it. This isn't quite traditional. The traditional part is the pork hocks and the broth part, but I put other stuff in it. And I like it hot. Most people like it cold. Like they'll have it, like if you go down to the Bahamas or that, supposedly they have like street vendors that serve this, like a hot dog stands that will serve this Saturday morning, or Sunday morning after all the bars close, because it's a great hangover cure. And since it's basically a pork bone broth, there's a lot of health benefits too. Well, I put lots of lime in it because I like the sourness of it. And I put lots of hot pepper because I like hot stuff. So when you're feeling sick, it literally clears your senses too. Yes, please share the support. I did. I made a recipe of it. But I did one that has the cucumber in it, which I found odd because I like it hot. But I'll go look and I'll find the recipe. And I'll share it with you. You can do it in your Instant Pot or a pressure cooker too, so it doesn't have to cook as long, supposedly about 20 minutes, and should fall off the bone. I'll find it somewhere.
I'm gonna go walk Maddie and put Molly out.
Okay. And where is it? Where? I'll find it for you. Oh, I need to plug my computer in. It's awesome. Oh, thanks. Just a second. just my daughter's sling. Got it twisted there. Yes, I'm going to tighten it. It was twisted. There you go. I'm back. I'm just going to find... It's probably in my Cook with Jen in Canada playlist. I made it. Actually, I made this video like last February. I must like making it in February. Just I help her with her jacket. There you go. Okay, who's Brian? Because I know people by just their channel names. And I suck at remembering names. Where? Come here. Where is my Souse recipe? Okay, that's not in that one. I'll have to go back and find it. There we go. There, I found the recipe. If you want to see it later. And I put the link to the recipe. It's also in my Pinterest, which is also Jen in Canada. That's a traditional one, more of a Trinidad Tobago one. I'm just doing my daughter's boots because she's going back out. And it's hard to do boots with one hand. But you can use chicken feet or pork feet and tail. And my daughter's like, eh. She likes it with hocks. More of the broth. It's not beef, it's pork. I never do beef. But you could do anything. But it's a soup that you use the cheap parts of the pig and chicken. Missed you. Yes, you missed me this morning. I had to, well, I was on for 2 hours, I think. But then I had to go to school and get my daughter. She was sick, so not fun. Bye. Not you, bye. I was saying bye to my other daughter, the one that's not sick. Well, the injured one, not the sick one. I'm having Souse. Yeah, please share the love, support one another. Grab a snack, grab a coffee. Or maybe a tea for those where it's nighttime. Jojo's heavy. Okay. So thumbs up. 11:30 a.m. in New Mexico. Wow. Awesome. Oh, thanks. I tried. I don't know why I think I'm an amazing host, but I'll take it. I like to try and share the love and chat with you guys, and hey, why not have my lunch? Yeah, so in my morning stream, I had said, well, today was my day that I didn't have anything booked on the calendar. And I'm glad I didn't have anything booked on the calendar, because I had to end that stream because I got a phone call on my phone here for school to go pick up my daughter because she was sick, literally sick. So if I had plans, I'd be normally out of the house by 11 o'clock. Because I tend to make plans if I'm doing any plans about 10:30, 11. And so that way I'm back by 2 when they get home. I'm glad it wasn't tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to TNT. So I hope to take some video there. I probably won't do any live streaming there because I might do it a little bit if I can, but I don't think so. I'll do some video and I'll set up that video eventually. Do you know what TNT is? Got a piece of bone there. Yeah, you know it's good when the bone's starting to fall apart. To be on your feet. Yes. Pray for fast healing for Baking Diva. She just had surgery yesterday, so she's still in the hospital. Pray they give her the good meds to help with the pain. So what did you guys do today? Keep up the support. Yeah, I can't wait to see you on your feet, CZ horses. Very good. Ooh, yummy. I love grocery shopping. I wish I'd get paid to do other people's grocery shopping. Bay leaf. Oh, that sucks. Baking Diva. I remember my daughter was in the hospital and stuff like that. They at least came every hour. Basically, right when she would fall asleep, they'd come to check on things. I'm like, seriously? The dinosaur, hot wobbling horse. Ooh. Oh, that really sucks. Hopefully, you'll be back on your feet again. Because, yeah, you were up for a few days. Yeah, it was raining here for the past 2 days. Today, it's not raining, but it's not sunny either. It was cloudy with a little bit of sun. Hey Google, what's the weather?
Currently in Ottawa, it's -3 and cloudy. Today, it'll be partly cloudy, with a forecasted high of -2 and a low of -9.
It's below freezing. We'll need to go to chiropractor. Some back cracks have helped, but not made it well. We'll need to probably hit the pro to get it fixed. The pro, well, isn't a chiropractor a pro? I said sending out. Yeah, you've taken our, yeah, for once BC area gets sun, we get your freaking rain and clouds. Hello, creative redundancy. Have you heard of Souse, Howie? Yeah, Howie, creative redundancy, right? Or is Howie food FLP? I think Howie's creative redundancy. We crack our own backs pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, I've never been to the chiro. I've gotten physio and I've gotten acupuncture once and massage. Reheated coffee, yay! The drink of all mums out there in the world. I don't know about you, I reheat my coffee like 3-4 times a day. The same cup at least twice. And then my pot, like I make a pot of coffee, and then I reheat from there. Hello, Oreo Kid. How are you? I'm having my lunch, which I made some Bahamian pork hock souse, or my version of it. Hi, Family Toy Report. Yep, feel free to share the love and support in here. Yeah, I caught the last little bit. It was very silly. Here, I've only caught really 2 of your live streams, and one was you putting makeup on, which was hilarious. And this one you were singing with your little guitar thing. What's it called? Mandolin? Ukulele? Whatever it's called. Okay. I'm like, it was a little guitar thing, but I don't think it was a real one. I think it was like a kid's one. You're single. Okay, Daddy D4. Cool. Well, bye, lovely 21. Make sure that everybody's supporting one another. Share the love. And don't forget to click the thumbs up before you leave. Either when you enter or before you leave. You like this video? I'm having lunch and we're chit-chatting. It for $4. Okay, cool. That's not bad. My daughter, for her birthday last year before, she asked for a ukulele. We got her one, but it was one of the ones from like the music store. So, but we got it on sale for I think $79. So that's brand new. They could normally go for like $100. Cool. Well, it's definitely entertaining. What other type of videos do you do, Oreo? I haven't had too much time to go and check all the videos out. I have to wait. Okay, well, I'll have to go and check them out then. The the suspense is killing me. Hello, 50 chickens in the hen house. How's it going? Pork salad. I'm having pork souse. Pork hock souse. So there's the pork. Yeah, there's still pork. Because I'm following the pork hock. My version. But I did a recipe of it. Um, Not this time. This is the one I made last year. I make it a few times a year whenever I can find pork hocks on sale. But that one I was following a recipe for it, that, but also be inspired by my dad's one, where he would, since I was a kid, he'd always put potatoes and carrots in it, which is not traditional. Usually it's just basically a bone broth, a pork bone broth, with onions and garlic, hot peppers, limes, pickling spice, salt, pepper, garlic, cilantro, or a green seasoning, which I think is a mixture of cilantro, garlic, onions. There's something else in there, I don't know. I'd have to go and Google that. But, you know, he would make it really good, and I've just been making it from memory and winging it. And getting inspired by the ones I find the recipes for. But a lot of them have it to serve cold. I don't like it cold because the broth is very gelatinous. It's like Jello when it's cold. But it's supposedly a really good hangover cure, because I think it's the fattiness and the pickliness of the broth that really combats any of the negative effects of hangovers. So what's everybody doing today? Supporting popular food. I know you have a bunch of cooking videos on your channel. Do you cook for a living? Like, are you a chef or that for a living? A little bit of this and a lot of that. Huh. Everybody's so vague today. Thanks, I'm trying to get conversation going. The only thing with Souse is that it's quite greasy from the pork hocks. So everything kind of like is slippery. But oh, so good. And it's great since it's a bone broth. It's good for when you're actually feeling sick and stuff too. I think I got peppercorn or whatever. Maybe allspice. No, cook for your family. Cool. Do you work outside of the home? Or what do people do in their day jobs besides YouTube? Because that's all I know what you do. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I cook for the family and I volunteer. Today, honestly, I still have the laundry that I was complaining about on Monday to finish. I did like a load, but there's like 3 loads waiting here to just be washed, and I have still clothes here to be sorted. Stay at home, Mom. And I'm gonna have to make supper tonight. I'm gonna make some pad thai, and then, but then I'm gonna make some soup for my daughter who's sick now. I don't know if she's sick that she got a bit of gastro or there was stress because there was a test and stuff, and they were talking about options, and she was overly stressed because she was feeling she was falling behind on other subjects, and then she was talking to her teachers and stuff, and it might have been a combination of everything. Yes, sure. Your recipe, do you have a pad thai recipe on your channel right now? Because I usually do the pad thai recipe from the Canadian Living Cookbook or from Pinterest. And then I kind of wing it. I use it as an example. And then do my own thing. Sometimes I do it, I'll buy the sauce as a cheapy way to do it. Thank you for joining my channel. Well, thank you very much. Yes, okay. I knew you had Indian cooking, but I was just wondering if you had pad thai since I was talking about pad thai. Yes, I made, actually, speaking of Indian cooking, well, and I used a sauce. I didn't make it from scratch. So yesterday I made tikka masala chicken. Like I cooked up the chicken and then I added the sauce and stuff. But ooh, I'm going to be watching a lot of your videos. See, I wish I had one of those ovens for the roti, for the naans. There. Yeah, I cook pretty much. I get inspired, so I go on Pinterest a lot. I get inspired by the pretty pictures of food, and then I cook them. Or I get inspired by things I like to eat in restaurants and try and make it at home. But what else? So yeah, that's why I'm making pad thai today. I made Indian yesterday. Made Puerto Rican on the other on the weekend. Very cool. Looks good. So you've been around for over 3 years doing videos. Do you ever do anything other than Indian food? Popular food? No, not yet. I don't have the video. I made them. Okay, well, cool. Well, maybe that could be a video of yours. Shopping, laundry, and dinner to make. Stay-at-home mom life. Oh, I used to work owning a home for disabled adults. Yeah, that's what I did before my kids. Was as I had my developmental service worker as well as my PSW, which is a personal support worker, and I was um, a physical care worker working with adults with physical disabilities. For many years, I used to work the night shift, the overnight shift, and I did that through both my pregnancies. Um, and then after my last baby, um, I was planning on going back to work, but then, well, she was born legally blind, and we had all these therapies and surgeries happening in Toronto and Ottawa. So, um, and I didn't really want to let her go. Like, even though we had a really great daycare provider that was willing to have therapists come into her home to work with her, because I'd have to work, I'd have to sleep during the day so I could work at night. It was just going to be too much. Like, when it was time for me to go back to work, I was like, yeah, this is not happening because I'm not organized enough. Life was just too chaotic. She was just developing things, and we just looked at our finances and stuff, and we looked at how to make it work, and we did. So luckily enough, in the past 15 years, my husband's job, he's been in the same position. He's moved up, so his pay has increased, which has been nice, which has made things a lot easier. Not perfect, but he tends to work during the day, so he doesn't get home till 6:30 on a good day. 6:30 on a good day, but usually by about 7 he's home. And when the kids were small, like, he'd come home, we'd have to eat supper, boom, 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 and then put the kids to bed. But he's usually exhausted. So I don't really spend as much time as I'd like to with him in the evening, because he falls asleep on the couch until the weekend. So just sewing something up. Listening though. You know how to sew? I can sew a button, and I can sew sort of a straight line. I just got a new to me sewing machine. Like, I had a new to me sewing machine that was like my mom's many moons ago, and my mom couldn't sew, so it took me a while to figure out that. And somebody said, "Oh, it needs to be serviced and oiled and stuff," and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. But I got a new to me sewing machine from my stepmom, who got a sewing machine one year from my dad, because he thought that she'd want to sew, because she talked about it, but she didn't really have the time to do it, so, and that was not quite her thing, so it was just sitting collecting dust, so she said, "Here, you'd like to sew, and, I'd like to learn to sew," and my oldest wants to learn to sew, is more interested in using the sewing machine, so, but again, setting it up, the only flat surface we have that would be good for that is the dining room table, and it's usually filled with other stuff, because there's always projects on the go, right? I don't know about your house, but, whenever you want to sit down at the dining room table, you have to clear it off of all the other ongoing projects. Being a stay-at-home mom, everything's kind of like ongoing, or at least for me, because I think I'm an adult with ADHD, so I get easily distracted, and I like to start a lot of projects, but I don't like finishing them. I'll do everything to like 90%, and I'll do it. Like, I'll have like 4 or 5 loads of clean laundry. It's clean. Is it folded? No. Is it sorted? No. It's like there's just something like stopping me from finishing. Yes. The only thing, well, same thing, like, I'll do cooking or whatever, and I'll put the dishes in the sink, but the finishing of washing the dishes, it's like, sometimes they'll sit overnight, and then in the morning I'm like, oh, I don't want to do dishes. Yeah. I mean, then I act like a teenager. But nobody's gonna take it away from me. As a teenager, I'll take it away from them going, "Oh, fine, let me do it." But nobody's gonna do that for me. I just need to win $1 million and have like a live-in housekeeper. Hi, Mark. How's it going? No, I left on all day. I'm not normally on all day. Today I had nothing to do. Well, no outside plans. Um, I stopped my stream about 11, 10:30, 11, because I got a phone call from the kids' school. My youngest was sick, so I stopped to go pick her up. She was not doing well, so she went and had a shower and got her ready. And she's napping, and then I started cooking my pork souse bone broth stuff here. This is pork hock. I had cooked it on the weekend, but only for about an hour and a half, and I had to stop it because my other daughter had to go emergency because of her pain in her elbow. And from the fall. So yeah. And so now I'm having it for lunch. And I have enough, I think, for tomorrow for lunch, or possibly 2 days. My family's not too big on it, so that's why it's a me treat. But it's quite healthy because it's a bone broth. Not healthy because there's fat because it's a bone broth. No. So yeah, normally I just do if I'm doing one live stream. But I was kind of going, oh, I'll make lunch, I'll sit down, have lunch, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to either watch YouTube, or why not do a live stream and check to see who's on? Since I had to kind of abruptly stop my earlier one, I decided to do the second. Pot noodles. What's pot noodles? Yep. Shared love. Oh, rib pot noodles. What's rib pot noodles? Yep, share the love. Make sure everybody's supporting one another if you can. And also don't forget to also watch. Don't know. Okay, I was reading your comment. You had rib, and then you said pot noodles. So I thought it was combined. I'm not used to my hair in a high ponytail lately, but I put one in this morning. My hair's all like big poofy. It's just, I gotta loosen it. It's pulling a bit. There. It's pulling too much to my head. So where do you live, Mark? What have you been doing all day? Oh, thanks. I need to still finish the laundry and make supper, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I still have 5 hours, 4 hours. Mark, do you work outside of the home or shopping? And or do you work at home or like close to home? We were just talking about that too, of how a few of us are stay-at-home moms and what jobs we do, like either part-time or did in the past. Because I stay at home, but I volunteer 1 day a week for the food cupboard, and then I'm basically the bringer of doctor's appointments. So I bring all my kids to their various doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and do groceries and all that stuff. So next week I get to go to the children's hospital for my oldest arm. And I have a doctor's appointment on Friday. And Monday and Wednesday I have actually a hair appointment that my friend's getting me for my birthday. No work. What type of work did you do, or do you homestead or farm? Like try and be self-sufficient. I know a few people do that, so they're not necessarily working, but they're working on their land to be self-sufficient, gardening or having chickens. Saturday. Saturday is my birthday and Amanda M's birthday. Just she's a little bit younger than me. Yeah, so I'll probably be on. I'll be live tomorrow morning and Saturday morning. Because my family usually doesn't wake up till 9, 10. Except for if you saw my live stream last week, they all were up at like 8:30. I'm like, what? What's going on? Oh, thank you, Poplar Food. Well, hopefully you'll see me before then, or maybe on then. But Saturday, I'll be turning 43. So, oh, I got something on my eye. Got my eyelash or something. Weird. Got your back. Yep, sharing love. Yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to TNT, which happy birthday for Saturday. Thank you. TNT here is a big, huge Asian grocery store. So think of your big, huge like super Walmart grocery stores. It's like one of those sizes. Yes, more TNT. So I'm going tomorrow. We're going to go and shop. Well, either we're going to go thrifting because on the way there, or on the way back, we're going to go check out some thrift stores. And because there's a road here in Ottawa, Maryville Road, it has St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, Bible for Mission Store, and Value Village. So 4 huge thrift stores that I'm going to check out what's there. Not that I necessarily need anything, but see what treasures my kids need a bit of pants. So, might pick up pants. I always like to check out their kitchen stuff, especially, like, I like my vintage Tupperware. I like the new Tupperware, too. But I love the vintage Tupperware, too. Because the vintage stuff, this is, it's older than me. That's 70s color. So, and that stuff lasts forever. So I like to look at those things and see what I can get as a good deal. Things that we use. So we're going to do that. We're going to do TNT. And we're going to do lunch at TNT first at the eating spot. I have an area that has both Dollarama and Dollar Tree. Okay, we have Dollarama and Dollar Tree on the same road here, but it's about a 10-minute drive between the two of them. Well, yeah. But and I like the Dollarama for some things, but I've been liking Dollar Tree. I get their hand soap, and I get their hand soap, and usually the shampoo and conditioner. I get the argan oil one from them, it's $1.25. The same stuff, different name brand, but I looked at the ingredients and it looks identical. So I think, and it's even colored the same or similar. It looks like it's like made in the same factory, just put a different name on it. The same, it's like $6. I'm like, well, those who watch my channel know I'm never spending $6 on shampoo or conditioner unless it's to treat something like psoriasis or something, or major dandruff. That's the only time I buy expensive shampoo or conditioner. $1.25, that's my budget. Maybe $2, $2 or $3 for like a big bottle. Yeah, they have great deals for hair products. And really good ones. And the soap, the hand soap there, it's twice as big as the ones at the dollar store for the same price. Or there's ones at the dollar store that are like the same size. They're like $2 or $3. And I'm like, no. It's soap. And my youngest tends to use a lot of hand soap. She's a little bit of a germaphobe these days, so it's much better in my budget for $1.25. Another thing I get Dollar Tree there. There's sour cream and onion rings. I love them. They're actually really good. They're like the Humpty Dumpty ones, which are like $4 here. But they're $1.25. I'm like, woohoo. Everywhere else, the other cheapy stores ones, there's like hardly any seasoning on them. Ooh, 4 police cars in your road. There must be something going down. Or they're chasing something. But I'm going to go to T&T and get some dumplings, dim sum, and some other things. I don't know, for Saturday. Because that's what I'm going to do for Saturday supper for my birthday. Hey, Weaves Gavin, how's it going? Yep, feel free, share the love. Weaves is almost at 1,000 subscribers. He's at like 900, I think. You're actually selling better. Good job, Creative Redundancy. Yeah, your name is Howie, right? Or is it Food Forest Permaculture's Howie? I'm pretty sure you're Howie. Please let me know. Blueberry muffins. Oh, yum. You're not that person. You're not... Okay, then it must be a Food Forest Permaculture. What's your first name? If you don't mind telling me. If you do mind telling me, just don't tell me. Just say, none of my business. Now I'm stuck. Who's Howie? Because I know it's somebody that's normally in my live streams. Because they said, just call me Howie. I'm like, okay. Oh yes, you're my secretive person. Same with like, you haven't released which area of Canada you, other than the West End of Canada, you are. West and very north, because you keep on saying it's much colder than here. What's the word I'm trying to look? You're not suspicious, not intriguing. What's the word I'm looking for? Suspenseful, maybe. I don't know, what word am I looking for? That kind of means kind of suspenseful. Mysterious. There's a good one. Because I'm like... Because there's a couple people that I've asked like direct questions and inquisitive. There we go. There's another good word. Because I'm like, brain not working, not enough caffeine to go past grade 2 vocabulary. Don't know. It's making me nervous. I haven't released that information yet. Nah, he's good. He has been in my live streams since I started making live streams. So, and very supportive. He's almost on every day. Yep, please share the love. Weaves is almost at 1,000 supporters. Do you have your watch hours, Weaves? Or are you still working on those too? I am at 2,091 hours. Over halfway there. Considering in, was it November, December, I was at like 300 hours, 400 hours. And Juja. Yeah, well, they are older. That pic is when they were 10 and 12. I got pictures for, let me see. No, that one's 10 and 12. Yeah, maybe 10 and 12. Yeah, 12. Yeah, because that one we were 8 and 10. That one's 10 and 12. How long have I been on? I've been on for an hour. I'll be like, oh, I remember I used to be. Well, this was the picture for that one. We first time getting our family picture done. I got it for Christmas, and then my husband paid for 2 pictures done on canvas. The family photo of that. My hair is. I had just bleached it and tried a new color. And it was very blonde, strawberry blonde. And I wasn't used to, and it was like blonder than this. And it looked, and I was wearing, you might have seen my mustardy sweater on. So it was lighter than my mustard auburn sweater. And it wasn't a very good family photo, but that one is really good. And their individual photos were good. And then the other one there, you see. That's us when we were on the cruise, so we were all dressed up for fancy dinner night. Now my oldest is taller than me. Yeah, fixing this. I think it's going to slide. Here. I'm going to try and adjust. There. So that was when we were on the cruise, and that was fancy dinner night, and we paid for the picture. I tilt this back a little bit. There. So my head's not cut off. But no, that's a good picture. This one was after we just got her hair cut short. She had it long, and now it's not long. We keep on getting cut short and long. She chooses what she wants. Home from work, so relaxing a few minutes with you, Jen. Oh, thank you, Half Acre Dreams. How's it going? Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sherry. Was I wearing this in my early live stream? I think so. Or was I in my PJ still? Made a pork hock souse. I'm just finishing that up. See, there's a pork hock bone. It's quite yummy. I did a recipe on it last year, actually, at this time. Yes, but only seen a bit of it. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah. Trying to readjust my camera so it doesn't fall over. If you're interested in what it is, this is my version of it, but I did this time I didn't add the cucumbers and stuff, like I was following a different recipe. But basically it's pork hocks, water, garlic, hot peppers, onions, pickling spice, bay leaves, salt, pepper, lime juice of like 1 or 2 limes depending on, or more if you like it sour. And I put in, which is not traditional at all, is potatoes and carrots, because I like more substance than just broth and some meat. I'm going to leave that the mad rush views. Yes, the mad rush for views is over. We can kind of relax, and we can get back to every day supporting one another. I was sharing earlier my morning live stream of how I normally support my subscribers, like the ones that I subscribe to. Because I tried, if you've subscribed to me, I'm usually subscribed to you. So how I do that is I go through my list here. Let's see, my channel. I'm gonna show you. So I go through my list here on the left hand side, and I put it in alphabetical order, and then I will start, well, the numbers come before the A's. I'll start and I'll watch at least one video from everybody until I get to the end, and then do it again. Sometimes I'll just add some in the playlist and run it overnight, or I try and watch at least one, and then I'll comment like throughout the day. Since I'm a stay-at-home mom, I have periods where I'm sitting down and resting, having coffee, or I'm on the bus so I can watch a video, and so I just go through my list, and I try and watch something of everybody's today, every day. Like, so with the amount of subscribers I have now, it might take a week, and I'll at least watch a video of everybody's. And that's what I try and do. And then that way, it's kind of like sharing love, because I mean, you guys are supporting me, and I hope that you try and do similar. Like, you might not have to go through all of yours, but like you try and notice when somebody produces something new. But then there's like people, like there's some people on here that they produce one video a week. Well, I'll try and make sure that I watch at least that one. If not, I might get through some other ones. If they don't have anything, I might go and pick an older video. Usually I'm picking ones that involve cooking or food, if I can, because I like to be inspired, so. And then yeah, exactly. So the way to see these new guidelines is that it's not now, we will all get there eventually. So whether it takes us a few days, a few weeks, a few months, depending on where we are at and where we're heading to, we just need to still hustle. We don't have to just stop what we're doing. Whatever we've been doing since the email came out, we just need to keep on doing that. We need to properly engage with our audience, which I found, so since doing live streams and since like participating in other people's live streams, my channel views and or at least my comment section of my videos has increased exponentially. So I used to get maybe 3 to 5 comments on a video, right? I might get more likes, like maybe 8 likes or something like that. So I'm assuming maybe 8 people watched it, maybe all the way through. Maybe they put it in the background. Who knows? I would get 3 to 5. Now, on a regular basis, I'm getting about 8 to 10 comments. So, to me, that's like I'm doubling, at least my viewership point, that they're responding with a valid comment about something other than sub for sub or something like that. You know, that's kind of a silly comment. But, you know, and so now I kind of like have people that want to watch to see what videos I'm making because they're participating in my live streams and apparently like me. So but I try and do that with all my subscribers so that I can share the love and support them. And because I mean there's some channels like, so through this whole ordeal I have found a lot of channels that I never would have found otherwise, right? Because I'm a small YouTuber, I tend to stick around with the small YouTubers. I don't really like those big channels. Like on one of my channels I was on, they did a survey of the top 6 highest numbers or paid YouTubers, and honest to God, I've never watched any of them. I know that one of them's a pie guy, and one's a brother. I think there's 2 brothers, but I've never. My daughter has seen them because I mentioned them. Like, who's this? Oh, that's blah blah blah. So she's seen them. I have no clue, and they tend to be like prank type channels, or that. Not really my cup of tea. So, or rants, you know. If I want rants, I could just go and ask anybody. You know, I do a few rants, but um, not, definitely not hurtful rants. My rants are like my stupid squirrel that broke through my screen, who's now breaking through my wooden shed. Can't understand why I like these. Neither can mine. Mine are like, why are you in there? So that's why I'm doing it during the day, so he's not necessarily around. Not that he doesn't know I am doing it, but it's more of this so I don't have to hear him going, oh, that's weird, you know? And, yeah. Yes, every genre and category have the bad guys. The makeup channels do great. Like, you know, that's why, Oreo Kid did, so Oreo Kid did a makeup thing with his wife's makeup. And I'm like, okay, if he goes and tags it like the makeup channels, he'll probably get like 1,000 people checking out this makeup channel and be sadly disappointed because he looked more like he was ready for war than putting makeup on. Oh my god, crullers for donuts, half acre. What? To search for new videos if I smoke. Exactly. The war paint. Oh yes, the war paint. I know. I get stuck on something and I get stuck. Crullers for donuts, half acre. Yum. Okay, puppy breath. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm now hungry for donuts or crullers. I'm getting a lot more well known. Well, thank you. I think it's because I like to chat with you guys and ask you guys what you like, if you have any questions, and share parts of my life, um, and also share support, because there's some live streams I've been on, it's all about them, and they're like, and for sure, like, they're usually showing something, right, which is fine, and it's just like a video, but they're not really checking on the chat. I try and scroll back, but to try and catch all the comments, because I'm not always very quick at reading them when they pop up on the screen here. Okay. Well then, okay. That's going on my playlist to watch next. Because I just had lunch, so I gotta go and look after, at desserts. So Half Acre Dreams, I think in your settings you have to put your video. There's a way to put your videos. Oh yes, I think I've seen this one, but I'm gonna put that in my tab here to just pause, so that when I'm done my live stream, I'll watch them. Because yeah, now I just want donuts. I have to make a video call here. Okay, no problem. Creative redundancy. Yeah, well, I try. So see, I have your video ready and queue to watch after. Don't worry about losing subs. Everybody, so this next week, from now till like the end of February or so, everybody's going to lose some subs. And the reason is twofold. There are some people that did sub for sub, and they just sub to you so that you could sub to them, and then they unsubbed you. I just wish we got a notice or that of who unsubbed or that. Also, another thing, YouTube has been unsubbing people. YouTube has unsubbed me from a channel that I was participating in. It's just it's just something that they do. Like, it's a random thing, or if you're not participating in their channel, like something, they'll unsub you. Also, there's been a lot of robots, like people buying subs, and or channels getting booted. So if a channel was subscribed to you and subscribed to, like, say 500 other people, and that channel did bad things, or became a fake channel, YouTube removed them. So then, of course, their sub to you is gone. So there's like 3 or 4 ways. So I don't worry about your subs. Don't look at your subs every few hours or that. If you look at them every day, just do it every day. If not, every couple of days. I wouldn't worry, because your subs are going to fluctuate up and down. Awesome. Well, I don't always comment and like videos. So I usually like, but I don't always comment. Because usually some of them I will play in the background and I'm doing something else, and I'll have it like in a playlist, like to go to the next one, like I'll put it in queue. So I usually will like, but I don't always comment. But I am making more notes of commenting now, as I wasn't before, and since this whole YouTube thing, and noticing that the comments on your channel help your viewership of your videos. I will be commenting more, but sometimes I will, if people are needing just some views and stuff, or if I've been really busy, I might put a whole bunch of channels videos in a playlist and just watch them to just help them out and be supportive. I'm not about just right like that's funny, puppy breath. I don't know. I never really paid. I was not a big enough channel ever to really pay attention to it, and I would never be concerned about my subscribers. Like I was worried about getting up to 100 subscribers to be able to get something on the Creator Studio, but I was never really worried about that. I know for not supporting, so a few channels that I had signed on with at the beginning, I didn't watch a lot of videos from them, or they weren't producing videos on a regular basis, so I kind of like put them in the back of my mind. So they produce, instead of a video every day, they might produce once a week or once every couple of weeks, or that. So I wasn't supporting them that often. And one time they posted on a group I'm on that, oh, they're putting up a new video, but, oh, I haven't seen one for you in a long time. Well, the reason I hadn't seen one for them from a long time was because YouTube unsubscribed me, and I didn't want to be unsubscribed. Going, no, PewDiePie caused the crash, which is Fiverr stuff. What's a Fiverr? So, I don't know what happened. I know there was something about somebody videotaping a suicide or a dead body or something like that, but I don't know what happened. I have no idea who and why they would even do that. Like, that's just messed up. And then, like, that week, the whole 10,000 views, but supposedly that's been in the works for months. I know when this came out, that a lot of the channels that might have had the watch time but not the viewership, or had the subscribers but not the watch time, and had been doing this for a year or two or whatever or more, or had the viewership from, like, say they've been having their channel for like 10 years. There's some people, there's been people that have their channel for like 10 years and has like 10,000 subscribers, but they've taken time off in the past year and only produced a video, did one video a week or a month. So their watch time in the past 12 months was down, even though they have like 10,000 subscribers. So they might be saying, screw this. You know, they might have gotten residual checks and maybe got, like, from older videos that were doing well still, made money. And they might have left. There's some other channels, I know a few of the homestead channels quit because they didn't have the view time or the subscribers, and they were feeling upset that the amount of little time that they had available to produce videos, and they weren't making a lot of money, but it was more of the point that they were making something to justify the time used to produce videos and edit them, that they've quit. There's been a few of them. I can't remember names right now because my brain is like mush. And there's some other channels that were small, and maybe they hadn't even hit the monetization level yet, and now with this new monetization, if they haven't hit the 10,000 views yet, and this new monetization rule, so you have to have 10,000 views. Okay. You also need 1,000 subscribers. Okay. 4,000 hours. Okay. Well, getting 10,000 views can take months for a really small channel. What were our two enemies and all the high-paying supporters? Yeah. Exactly. So I think whatever happened, all these supporters pulled ads because they're like, I'm not going to put ads on live streams or whatever. Because I think it was a live event. Because they couldn't stop it from happening versus it being recorded and uploaded. And since then, the yellow dollar sign would come up on every single video. Like my Instant Pot Ribs video had yellow dollar sign on it. Yeah, that's not suitable. The yellow dollar sign, like the evil yellow dollar sign, I just kept on asking them to take it off, and within a couple days they did. So I might have lost some hundreds of thousands of a penny off some videos. Fair enough. Not the end of the world. Now I'm demonetized, so I'm not making any pennies on my videos until I hit my 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers, and then reapply, which I think if you've already applied, you should be able to reapply quicker. So hopefully it won't take them another month or two to verify that you're a legitimate person. But YouTube isn't about the making the money. Yes, Instant Pot Ribs got marked at, the minute it came on live, I posted it. I usually post, when I make videos, I used to post them at about 6:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Got posted 6 o'clock, 6:02, boom, yellow dollar sign. I'm like, you didn't even have a time, this is like a 10-minute video. You haven't had time to watch it all. And I'm like, seriously, it's and the title is Instant Pot Ribs. Yeah, I have that video. Look into my Instant Pot. And another one that got my Puerto Rican, apparently pork, got, and Saison seasoning got, all of them got, I think the only one that didn't get demonetized in the last 2 months, for a short period of time, they came back within 24, 40 hours. Yeah, their algorithm, apparently doesn't like cooking videos. my Tide Pod Challenge rant, where it's a 4-minute rant of me going, I don't understand why. Because here in Canada, we were having news flashes from all the major news companies when there was some about this Tide, like people doing YouTube videos of them eating stupid Tide Pods. I haven't gotten. So I was earning money in my AdSense account. So I earned money before the 10,000 views rule. Then the 10,000 views, so I earned like $2, like literally, in like months. And then the 10,000 views rule came into effect. So I got demonetized. When I got remonetized in November, end of November, the $2 that I had earned previously was still there, so I got remonetized, and I was producing videos, but in December, the last couple of weeks of December, and first week of January, my kids were home, and I had taken videos but not produced them online, and a bunch of us were sick, and we just did more family time, and I was putting up a video like instead of every second day. I was putting up a video about once every week or once every 4 or 5 days. And then beginning of January happened. The kids went back to school. I made an effort of producing the backlog of editing videos that I had, because I have a bunch of still cooking videos and baking videos that I have to edit, and grocery hauls, and my kids' lunches, I still have to edit them because there's some I've taken them, and I have to do the last, find the last little bit that said what they liked, or me to overwrite, because I know which ones, what things my kids liked at the end of the week versus what didn't work, what worked, what didn't work. So there's a few of those I have to edit and upload. But I'm like behind on that because I did I think 6 weeks, and we're like week 15, and I've taken videos every day. Just, again, it's the completion. I'm good at doing 90% of the work, but it's that last 10% that's like, eh. So, I have to watch the video. Oh yeah. Well, it got like within 24 hours. They said, "Oh yeah, we made a mistake." That whole ribs in the Instant Pot, and apple cider vinegar and water and rib rub and barbecue sauce. So offensive. I mean, only like as I joke around on my live streams, my videos are, most of them are cooking related, or canning, or long-term storage, or grocery hauls, so somehow involving food. The only way my videos are offensive, in my opinion, is if you're on a diet or you're diabetic. Because, it's dang, exactly. And I'm not very good at it. I have a program, and I can, basically all I can do is glue them together, and I've learned how to fade them. Editing them and making them like pop out and all that stuff. I can put a title, and I put an end screen with a like button. And that's about as fancy as I get. But that's why I like live streams, is that I don't have to edit. And they get uploaded within half an hour to an hour, no matter how long they are. I just have to go back in and put a description and put tags, which I haven't been doing, for other people to pop in and say, and to see them. But yeah, it's and there's people out there that are doing like 4, 5, 8 hours editing a 5-20-minute video. My videos average about 20 minutes. I have some that are under 10 and some under 5, but they average about 20 to 30 minutes on things. My grocery hauls are usually more. They're about closer to 30 minutes. Just because of the way I'm videotaping, or sometimes I'm going in the stores too, and I'll show you what I'm doing. But and those get a lot of views. because our stores here in Canada are quite different than yours in the States. And then I have people now, like from the UK and stuff, which is completely different. Need to watch those get to the fire. 2 family hosts, yes, does editing classes with Filmora. And I've learned some things, like my program I use is Power Director, because we bought it. Because I had the free version on my phone when I was just using my phone for editing. And then I had got a camera last June, July, that we used for our trip. And then I've been using that for editing. But I'm still figuring out, it's the numbers at the end, like, of a better quality video, like either in the producing part or in the editing part. I haven't quite, like, I would just like somebody to go, this is exactly what you need to do, click, 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 and I do it, versus me have to think. The same program as they do, but I know what I want to find. I need to, exactly. I spend sometimes half my days looking on YouTube for videos to teach me how to do something else. This could literally be a full-time job. Oh, for sure. For sure. But for this to be a full-time job, you need to do if you're going to plan to try and do this as a full-time job, then you have to market yourself as a channel as a full-time job. Okay, because if you're putting the effort in as a full-time job, you want to get compensated like a full-time job. I am putting in the effort as maybe a part-time job sometimes. But I'm still not knowledgeable. I'm a little bit upset that I got demonetized. Not that I've ever seen a check. I mean, my account, I think, still has $19 or whatever in there, and that's taken me all year to get to. Where am I? So it's not like I'm losing out on it, but if I was putting the effort in and producing like amazing videos, like some channels out there, like the videos that they produce are quite professional. I don't have that editing skill. Like I want to figure out how to make an intro, like some channels. Hi, Socially Obscure. I want to make a little, but I'm having a hard time with it. Yeah, contact Two Family Homestead. They will walk you through it privately too. They'll probably call you through Hangouts or something. FC Two Family. Yes, their vids. The videos they do it on. I think Monday is help, or is it Tuesday that's help? I popped in a few times and I've learned some things, even though I don't use Filmora. But yeah, where's my... The problem with following a bunch of channels that do some cooking videos is that the titles of their videos pop up as notifications of like, ooh, broccoli cheddar soup, ooh, and that keeps on changing my plans for supper. Because shiny, that looks good. Ooh, actually, I have $23.02. I'm rolling in it. I've got enough for what, 3 coffees at Starbucks? But my average view time has increased to 5 minutes. And my views have increased this month. Or this year. Woohoo! I know. And it's not even enough for a check. So that's why I'm kind of saying, like, people are all upset they're not monetized. I'm like, yes, but how much money were you making before? Okay, yes, it kind of sucks that if you were making money, then actually making enough that you were getting a check. And then them telling you you're not making it anymore. Well, you can't kind of live off the rails of the coattails of this, right? You need to step up your game. You need to hustle. You need to hustle your butt to get your subscribers, to get your videos out there, to make better quality videos of whatever you do. So what, like, my goal is that well, exactly, 600 bucks in 2 years. Okay. You know, not you don't even have enough to get a check, right? But people like the ones that are upset are the ones that were getting a check. They got monetized. They may have had their channel for many years. They had some really good high viewed videos from in the past, like say 3 or 4 years ago. People like a lot of them are like Christmas videos or whatever, and people will go there and every Christmas and watch them. They'll produce some stuff, but it's kind of like in the background, once a week, once a month, or 3 times this week, but nothing for another month. And people will go and they're like, well, I'm getting demonetized. I'm like, yeah, but you weren't putting the effort in to be getting a steady paycheck to begin with. So now, unfortunately, they've made you step up your game. When I first started trying to upload YouTube, nothing would go up. Finally figured out my settings and my render weren't jiving. It's very frustrated. Yes, I tried to. Same with me. I did a video. I tried to do it in extra high density, like, and it's like crazy stupid high. After overnight, like, so I've set it to go overnight. So I slept for 8 hours. It was at 35%, and it was a 15-minute video. I'm like, cancel. Go back and change the time on it. I changed the amount of high density. Yeah, and I'm on fairly high internet. Like right now, I've kind of screwed up the internet a bit for February because of all the watch time that I was watching like 8 channels at a time. So until now our internet's been tethering because I've used up all the major high fast bandwidth that we had. So I think our month's done on Wednesday. So now I'm not watching videos in the background anymore. But I was doing it up till last Friday, a bunch of videos in the background. I was watching videos during the daytime for some channels to help them with their watch time. But now that time limit is gone, there's not much point in continuing that amount of effort because I don't know how much other people were doing, right? So, and it really messed up our bandwidth, and we have really good bandwidth because my husband is a computer techie, so he makes sure we get the best we can for a decent price. So now, like, that's why I'm not doing necessarily live streams at night when my family's home, because it affects the internet for the television and that. So I'm doing it when nobody really is here that needs the bandwidth. So, trying to render it at 480. Making vids I could watch, but oh, okay. Yeah, was that too small? Correct? That was too small. 1280. Well, I was doing, I think it was 10. So, can you explain to me the numbers of being good? The bigger numbers better, or the smaller numbers better? Because I'm completely no. Yeah, just figure. Because I know our TV does like 1020 by whatever. I don't know. I think there's a 1020 in there. Better resolution. Big numbers, higher def, not HD per se. Yes, but do you want to do that for YouTube? Like, I tried to do really high definition. 480 is 64 by 480 screen. Okay, so that was too small for YouTube. So YouTube didn't like it if it was too small. Because get to the user easier. Okay. But what about the quality? My computer is being slow. See, I'll go with my CyberLink Power Director. Too high may run poor for lower connection people. No, it doesn't care. You can do a 360 vid. Yeah, that's the quality is like. What's a 360 vid? Is that another number option? Oh, that's still funny. See, I was just using the defaults for the longest time. But what I've been finding, though, is my camera, what I'm seeing from my little camera in the screen of what I'm videotaping versus what happens when it comes onto my program. I'm seeing this much, while when it's going to the program, it's now shorter. So a lot of my videos, my cooking videos, are really close up when I upload them into my program. But a vlog might want to be in the 720. Oops. Gotta feed the animals and start dinner. I'm gonna be on tomorrow morning, about 8:30. So that's when I will be on next. I'll try to do the same thing, maybe 8 on Saturday. Maybe earlier if I'm up. Yeah, if the original vid is really high, then you make a smaller vid out of it. It just takes that size part out of the middle. Oh. So should I be making high density videos with my camera if I want, or should I try and keep the numbers even? My friend. Oh, thank you, Popular Food, for coming by. And thanks for coming. You've now inspired me to go and check out your cooking videos, because I'm like, I want to know how to make really good Indian food. And you made, I think it was papadam there, and you had naan. But naan, to be authentic, needs your little fire pit oven, but we don't have that here. So if your was 1020 and you were making a 720, just take the... Okay. So CZ, if I did a 1020 video, I should try and do a 1020 YouTube. But see, I don't know what the options. Same, but not required. In the Homestead Hippie vid, mine is in 480. Yes, take snacks. I know. Or my family's going to be eating lots of Indian food because I'm like, ooh, gotta make this. Ooh, gotta make this. I made chicken masala yesterday. Yeah, if you need the quality and it's not too close up for you. Okay. Well, I mean, look at my cooking videos. My last, say, 10 videos, if you look at my videos, you'll see that it's much closer than what I saw on my screen. Because usually what I'm seeing, I'm trying to get the whole plate or the whole pot Well, sometimes it's much closer. The other way is too close. Yeah. Because somebody said, oh, your videos are too close up. And I'm like, what? Because when I was seeing it on my screen, it was not the same as what YouTube had. But again, I mean, at least my things aren't completely sucky, but they're not perfect. As I said, I'm just learning, right? Oh, thank you. Hey, Tessie. Long time no see. Yes, it's like zebra striped. I was just like, I'm just resting back. I want to put my back massaging thing on. My back is killing me. You think my videos are fine? Okay. Because somebody was saying they were too close up. Aw, thanks, Tessie. We were just sharing the love. I was having some pork hock souse for my lunch. And here, I'm going to put you back there. There. I'm just putting my back. My back is killing me today. Yeah, so I've done 2 live streams today because I had one and then I had to cut it short because my youngest was sick at school, like literally. But I think might have been a bit of a tummy flu, but I think it was mostly stress. So if you have ways that can deal with stress, please let me know, because my anxious child is quite anxious these days, and with school and stuff, and she gets way more anxious when things are getting overwhelming or she's falling a bit behind, because she knows she can do better, but she's also dealing with insomnia, which doesn't help. So if you have ideas, feel free, let me know. But yeah, here we're just going to see juice. 15. My youngest is 15, my oldest is 16. My oldest will be 17 in April. So, but she's always been my anxious child, and then she's been more anxious since she's completely lost her sight, which doesn't help things. So, and she's on some meds a bit for that, but then she has insomnia due to she had it before she lost her sight, and now without having any sight and any light recognition, her whole 24-hour clock is completely thrown out the window. So, and then she falls behind in school because she's falling asleep in class, and even though she's gifted and actually really smart. So, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, eh? Yeah, her internal clock is, yeah, yeah, throw in being a teenager. Let's just throw that in there, too. That in itself is just, if she didn't have any other issues, that in itself is stressful enough. At least there's not a lot of bullying or anything like that going on. So at least there's not that thrown in there as well. Can't see. Yeah, there's some meds that, like, they're trying some things. So the meds part were kind of like, but part of the problem is that she's falling asleep before she takes the meds, which are supposed to help her sleep or help her stay asleep. But then, like, if she's, like, right now she's asleep, she's feeling ill, but the other night she slept all night. I could not wake her up for supper, and it was ribs, and she loves ribs. Like, you've seen my rib video. I've made it like 4 times since Christmas. It's only February. And she loves her meals, especially ribs. I couldn't even get her up when I told her it was ribs. And then I just packaged it up, usually at that point, she'll wake up at like 10 o'clock at night, and then she's hungry. But she didn't even wake up then, so she woke up in the morning, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 3. And so she'd been up. My alarm goes off at 6:30. I'm usually up before my alarm because my internal clock, and I heard her up, so I gave her breakfast of ribs. I gave her breakfast of supper that she missed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she had that. She had already been up for like 3.5 hours. She gets to school, it's 8 o'clock. By 10:30, she's now exhausted. So it's been kind of like a downward spiral of things, which has not been fun. Sometimes I don't feel like amazing. So some people say I have patience with them, and honestly, I don't have that much patience. I had way more patience when they were toddlers. But now it's like you're old enough to know better. But yeah, then you go through my other daughter. I was at the hospital with her she slipped on the ice when we had family time on the canal, and she slipped on the ice and she broke her elbow. So it's called coffee. I drink lots of coffee. And see, that's the thing. Like my husband and I were just talking to her, she hasn't learned to kind of just push through the complete exhaustion and catch her second wind, you know? Because sometimes you have to just push through. Like for example, it's Thursday, or it's Friday. Push through the exhaustion until you get home, because you have the whole weekend to recoup, you know? Monday it's hard to push through, but by Friday you can just push through. But, yeah, how do I keep going? Coffee. And chocolate. As I joke around where I volunteer, I go, I could do a lot of volunteer work for free coffee and chocolate. Or lunch. Well, thank you very much, Tessie. I'm very encouraged to have you in my life, too. I mean, you and I are one of each other's longest subscribers, supporters, whatever you want to call it. Speaking of chocolate, I'm still eating my Christmas chocolate. See, I have them. These ones are like the chocolate cookies ones, the Kirkland brand. So I still have a couple. Those are my, afternoon pick-me-up with coffee. A big couple. I have, my little stashes of good chocolate. Because I found, the last couple of years, the cheap chocolate isn't very good. And unfortunately, my kids now realize that they don't like the cheap chocolate at the dollar store stuff. So that increases our chocolate budget. Because now they want the more expensive chocolate. Like for Christmas or Easter or whatever. I'm not talking really expensive, but Turtles versus dollar store chocolate balls, or the coins. Actually, we had some coins in our stockings, and they kind of tasted my husband said they tasted kind of soapy, compared to the other chocolate, the Belgian chocolate, even the cheaper versions of the Belgian chocolates. No. I should. Hey, don't knock it. We have a gum here in Canada. It tastes like soap. And it purposely tastes like that. It's called Thrills. It's and we have wine candies here that are really gross. But they're the kind of candies that you eat, the wine gummies, that you eat them because they taste gross. Yes, because you had one in one of your, I know. I saw your reaction. I'm like, I remember that. I used to eat that as a kid. I used to buy them because I've been thrifty all my life, because I used to buy them because you can get 2 for the price of 1 of the other ones. So I got 2 times the sugar gum, even though it tasted like soap. But you get kind of used to it after the first couple of bites. I don't know whose bright idea it was to make that candy. But it is definitely a Canadian thing. Also, there's some candies in the Maritimes that you can get that are odd too. Also, there's some candies in Bulk Barn. I don't know if you have them. Well, they're gummy bear shape ish, but they're babies and they're black babies. There's another name for them, and you can get them sour or sweet. Women time limit. Well, there's like a little black jube babies instead of bears. They're babies, which I'm like, whose bright idea was to make candies in the shape of babies so you can eat them? Amanda, there's no time limit anymore. What time limit? I was gone. This is my second stream. I had to pick up my daughter. She was sick at school. Now I'm having dessert. I had soup. Now I'm eating the Kirkland brand chocolate covered biscuits. I don't know where the lid is. But what time limit are you referring to? Also, I don't know if you have Dutch stores where you are, but we have a large Dutch community up here. Actually, I go to a church called like the Christian Reformed Church, which is basically from Holland Dutch. I'm not Dutch, but I have Dutch in me, but I go there because I like the people that go there. I got invited to go there by friends of mine who are Dutch and go there. And they have a really good, like very family-centered church, and when my kids were young, very accepting of my kids' uniqueness and not trying to like, we're kind of square people and we're trying to shove a square in a hole type thing. They just kind of accepted us for how we were, so and I like that. But we have a Dutch store here that sells sour licorice. Like, licorice itself has a unique flavor. Then there's sour licorice, and then there's like double or triple sour, like sour salty. Like it's like salt stick mixed with licorice, and it's like very very good. Like I like black licorice, so it has a really good. And also they have these mints, like kind of like Scotch mints, but they're more minty and harder. Yeah. So if you ever find a Dutch store, and if you do like black licorice, ask to take a taste before you buy a whole bunch. Because the ones are like sour, salty, sour. The little bits of them is good, but the really, like the double and triple sour salty ones, they are like they make my eyeballs dehydrate. No limit on live streams, but there is still. Yes. So apparently, live streams. I think you need to have your 10,000 views. I don't know what the. Well, I was quite happy. I'm like, okay, I can still have live streams. I'm good. I got to ask you. I have been watching documentaries on Hutter rights. Hutter rights? You go have any Hutter right? Yes. No super chat until I have 1,000 subscribers. I think they're like Amish. Yeah, we got some Amish, Quaker, or Mennonite. I'll have to look. We have some in southern Ontario, near Toronto area near Niagara Falls. I don't know, like, they're not, like, they're close to the Niagara Falls area, like those little communities. I'll try and Google them. I'll ask Google. Hey Google, where are the Hutterites communities?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you the answer to a similar question. Where are the Hutterites located? Would that help?
Yes.
According to Wikipedia.org, today, approximately 3 of every 4 Hutterite colonies are in Canada, with almost all of the remainder in the United States.
Hey Google, where are the Hutterite colonies in Canada?
My apologies. I don't understand.
Okay. Hey Google, where are the Hutterite colonies located in Canada?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, I'm not wording it right. Let me just, if I'm going to try and Google, then I can see how to, sometimes you have to ask it a certain way. And since I'm not sure of the question I want the answer to, I go. Well, that's the Google Home talking. They aren't Amish in Montana, but lots of Hutterites. See, I don't know. See, I honestly, I kind of group them all together. The ones that tend to like to live old school. So it says a member of either the Anabaptist Christian sect established in Moravian in the early 1600s, or a North American community holding similar beliefs and practicing an old-fashioned communal way of life. Let's go to Wikipedia here. Of course, my mouse is not working. Where's my mouse? There. Canadian Encyclopedia. Right. So Hutterites are one of 3 major Christian Anabaptist sectarian groups. The others are Mennonites and Amish. So they're all kind of the same. It's kind of like Christian, and then you have like Pentecostal and Catholic and Protestant and Anglican. They're all kind of different flavors with similar beliefs. All the ice from last night already melted, and now we're getting heavy rain. Yay! Not yay, I'm sorry. You're getting flooding at your house right now? Let's go and get their year-old hens to keep for layers. We chatted while we were there. We were amazed that chicken was worth more as a compost manure maker than as a layer stewing hen. And when they said about Canada, I wondered. Yeah, and they're mostly southern Ontario. And the reason why they came here, if memory serves, well, because also in the States there, back many moons ago, there was all the, the wars, like the Civil Wars and all that stuff before, and then afterwards with the other wars, and you had to draft young men. While here in Canada, it was voluntary draft versus, yeah, they didn't even use the manure. Huh? So yeah, I'm just going to Hutterites. Since you were asked, I'll see if Google will tell me more. Oh, they're in there's some in southern Alberta. They date back to 1520, when a group of about 200 German-speaking Anabaptists established a communal society in Moravian, now a region of Czech Republic, to escape religious persecution. Under the initial leadership of Jacob Hutter, they established the basic tenets of Hutterian beliefs. Convictions based on early Christian teachings, communal ownership of property, strict separation of church and state, including form of communal living, non-violence and opposition to war, and adult baptism. Also, Hutterites have retained the dress and customs and language and similar austere lifestyle of their ancestors. So they're of German descent. So they moved from Czechoslovakia to Hungary to Romania to Russia to the U.S. and finally to Canada. The American Hutterites during the First World War were under suspicion for being German. The Canadian government granted Hutterites freedom of worship and from military service in exchange for developing the land. This created a backlash from the previously settled population. Through the end of the war, eased hostilities. After 1980, some 50 families had immigrated to Canada, settling first in Alberta and Manitoba, then Saskatchewan, and by 1940 there were 52 colonies in Canada. By the Second World War, however, again brought an end to any goodwill towards the Hutterites. They've been misunderstood. So, in North America, the Hutterites community is about 330,000. I'll put a link here. You might have more, but it's quite interesting. But yeah, we have, I don't know if they're Hutterites or if they're Amish or Mennonites or Quaker. But we have a lot of them in southern Ontario of that genre. I kind of group them all kind of together because they're kind of don't use technology, don't dress like the everyday person these days. But that's the article. Own individually. Yep. Well, that's the communist thought, right? And it does work in a setting. But the problem is everybody has to be in agreement all the time. But with the Amish and the Mennonite, they can own their own stuff, but there's some communal living in areas that they support one another. No problem, Tessie. But yeah, there's a large group also in the prairies of maybe Hutterites, Mennonite, Amish, German, Dutch kind of descent. Hey NKY, how's it going? Yeah, I never grew up with them around. So we in Ottawa. What's funny is during the summertime we do get a lot of Amish type people coming for tourism. Okay. Because the Amish people, when they hit like 20 or 21, they have their let's see if I want to stay Amish type thing, and they'll come to the ones who live in Canada or sometimes in the States. They'll come to Ottawa since it's the nation's capital. Check out the Parliament buildings. Check out stuff. The Ram Spring stuff. People sounded like Google. Yeah. Ram Spring. Yeah. And they'll come to things like Niagara. So we've seen them a lot when we were in the Niagara Falls too. A couple of them were going to Niagara Falls for their either Rumspringa or going there for their honeymoon. There was like newlyweds we found. Mm. So, in theory, the getting back to basics Amish lifestyle, in theory, it would be nice. But, and if you're up for that and going back to basics, and that is great. Personally, I don't like that. I like the getting back to basics of learning how to do stuff from scratch, but I also want to take advantage of modern technology, like doctors and hospitals and medicine, and washers and dryers. Because I've washed stuff from by hand before when our washer was broken, when we've gone camping and stuff like that. And it's not fun. I don't have the strength in my hands to wring them out as good anymore. Hey, escaping from the Matrix. How's it going? Tessie, Homestead Tessie does a lot of things from scratch, and she has a background of being raised in the Mennonite style, whether it was the big, huge community or just offset, because a lot of times the Mennonites and the Amish will also expand and take a little bit of popular culture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to learn more about going pretty much off grid, check her out. Limited water. Yeah, you have to haul your own water. Yeah. Yeah, the Amish are still stuck in the 1800s. But they all have kind of the same similar core beliefs, which is nothing wrong with that. And those beliefs are pretty still standard today. But I would like to have more of modern conveniences, like running water and flushing toilets. I've done camping. I've done outhouses. I've done, wood stove and stuff. I wouldn't mind doing wood stove, but not necessarily all the time. I would like to do wood stove as a hobby, baking. Mm, very plain Mennonites. But I think living like they did in the 1800s in today's society, you're using a lot of your energy and time doing the simple things in life of fetching water, boiling water, doing laundry, cooking, um, gathering firewood, all that stuff, that there's not a lot of hours in a day to do other stuff like spending time with your family, like a job outside of the work or outside of the home, or um, better educating yourself or anything for leisure. So you can do a bit of a balance between the. I always enjoy asking questions from others, different parts of the world, and then I saw. Yes, because am I your token Canadian, Tessie? Cookie. Um, but yeah, but in Canada, so that's what I say. They came up here because they were avoiding the war, and not because they're non-violent, non-war people. So we have, like, here in Canada, like, where I live, within, let's say, a 20-minute drive, I can find a Jehovah's Witness temple. I can find a Muslim temple, a Jewish temple, Catholic Church, Anglican, Protestant, Pentecostal, Catholic, Baptist, Christian Reformed, United, a Hindu temple, a Buddhist temple, an Aboriginal spiritual house or building, all within like half an hour drive of my house. So we're all, like, that's how we are in Canada here, is that people come to Canada and they still keep parts of them, but also gain parts of being Canadian. So we're like, instead of like how America, it's all about like trying to be like a melting pot of making everybody the same. We take people's cultures and our big picture is like a mosaic where you're using all the little the little broken pieces of glass to make a big picture that's beautiful. Well, each person is like a little piece of broken glass. My tolerance is regulated, which, yes, we have a lot of people that are either atheists or agnostic or spiritual, without defining their belief. And that is perfectly fine. And there's no, like, at least not near me, I've never seen any persecution type thing. So, for example, my kids go to a Catholic high school. The reason, because my husband was baptized Catholic, so they could go. But even if he wasn't, they could go if it wasn't overfilled. Plus, they have better resources there than at the regular public high school. And it's closer, like literally across the street. So I don't have to worry. But at the school there, you could go. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to be Catholic. Actually, at their school, there's about 20 kids that are Muslim because they're wearing the hijab. The women are wearing the hijab. But their parents had to sign a piece of paper that they have to take religion, which is learning, and it's not necessarily learning about Bible. It's learning about the core values. Like, do unto others, not what to do. Learn about what faith means. Learn about what, and it doesn't say what faith. So that faith can be transposed from Catholic to Baptist to Muslim, But these women are practicing Muslim, but they go to a Catholic school. Why? Because the school's really good. And they accept them. The Catholic school accepts people of all bias. So there's kids that could be gay, lesbian, transgender, bi, whatever. That is fine. Like, there's not the persecution as there was even 20 years ago, Which I think is kind of nice of trying to just teach the young people to accept people for who they are. Whether you agree or not, you could still be civil, You don't have to always tell them you agree or not. So, that's my little tidbit today. Who's still here? Everybody's quiet. Did I scare you all off? You heart cat. Yeah, well, we try. Mm-hmm. We try. And we try to be accepting. Not that everybody in Canada is accepting, but we at least try. Okay, because I'm like, it's dead silence. It's only me talking and nobody typing. Um, like, I know people who don't accept a lot of things, and that's fine as long as they're not being mean to other people because they can't accept their differences. Um, and we tend not to be like the news that we get from the States shocks and scares the heck out of me personally. I can only speak for myself, but a lot of my friends, the stuff that we see of the extreme negativity that's happening in some places in the States towards whoever that's different, it's scary. Especially since, you know, we're your northern neighbors. So if somebody gets pissed off with you guys, we're going to get fallout. Does not matter who or what you are. Exactly. Kind people for the heart. Like, my mom always taught me that to try and make friends with people from different cultures. And try and make friends with people with disabilities or different colors of skin or anything like that. Because they sometimes don't have friends. So what's inside is all the same. We all bleed red, right? I don't know anybody who bleeds green or blue, no matter what color of skin you got. And it's all good. Like, we all, you know, and all of the religions out there, besides Satanism, which I don't, you know, that's kind of like the opposite of religion. Um, they all have like the golden rule: do unto others as you want done to you, worded a different way. You know, the news is designed to make things look bad here. It's not. Well, so that's the thing. So the news, it does look bad, okay? But the news, what's being reported, like the videos, is actually happening because they're not necessarily faking the videos of the bad things that are happening. But they're making it sound like it's happening everywhere versus in this city or that city, one instance. I mean, the stuff that happened that your president, like, said, oh, like, you know, the bad things that are happening, right? Like school shootings and stuff, you know? Not saying that Canada doesn't have them, but we don't have them that severe. Like, but because we don't have access to semi-automatic or guns that can do more than 6 bullets, right? So you're only going to get 6 before you have to reload. Well, in that time, somebody else is going to take you down, whether they have a gun or not, you know. And that's just kind of how it is. Like, yes, we have had school shootings, which suck. Like, I mean, and it's usually because some kid got extremely bullied and people weren't dealing with it. And that's, you know, that's the sad part, is that innocent people get affected. I want to use that stuff to pub. Yeah, but see, the problem, but part of the problem is, like, I know a lot of people who are pro-gun, and that's fine. Being pro-gun is fine. Like, we have, like, most of the people I know here do have guns. They have rifles for hunting. Some people have pistols or whatever for self-protection. But to get a gun here in Canada, first you have to pass, you can't have a criminal record, and you can't have any psychological issues on your record. Used to watch mainstream news or media. It promotes hatred. Exactly. It, like, the stuff that we see that filters up here, even, like, I don't have cable, right? Filters up here on Facebook, on YouTube, on the news. Like, I watch, like, Canadian news on YouTube. The stuff that filters up here of the major bad things that happen down there scare the crap out of me, right? Like, I live in our nation's capital. I have never been afraid to walk the streets at night, even at 2 o'clock in the morning, even in the projects. Like I used to have to walk through the projects to get to my place. Like, you know, yes, there was gangs, but our gangs weren't like that bad. And yes, there was more guns in that area and more fights than anywhere else, but not that bad. But I've never been afraid to walk downtown Ottawa where there's homeless people and sometimes like very questionable looking, possibly scary looking people. Never had a problem, whether I was by myself or with people. Okay? I went to Miami and by the Walmart by the airport, and I was scared at night. You know, because I think because of all the people just have the guns out there, like you could see them. Profit from alcohol. Ban that. Yeah, but you can't blame it on alcohol. Because I'm sorry, our alcohol is much stronger than yours. Okay, our beer is almost twice as much as what is in your states, right? 100% more die, drinking and driving, push a bit on alcohol, all propaganda. Yeah, but I was thinking if you were saying that the alcohol was reflecting with the gun. But the problem is that the alcohol deaths are usually they're taking themselves out usually, or the people in their vehicle or one other vehicle. That's a small amount versus a school shooting. That's like 20 people from one person, you know? I just think that there just needs to be some I don't know what type of regulations you do have to be able to get guns in the States. But I think there needs to be like here you have to go through a vetting process. You have to have no criminal record, no marks of like domestic abuse on file. Like even like if you had an argument with your wife and the police were called, but then no charges, that there's a mark on file. Um, so you can't have that. You can't have a mental illness that requires meds for. Um, and when you purchase a gun, it takes like 7 or 14 days before you can get the gun. Like you can't go to the store, I want this gun, and then you get it. But from my understanding, again from the news and what we hear from you, is that your background checks aren't as as strong. Is that the word I'm looking for? As brain's not working. Sorry. As much information, like because from what we've seen in some cases, that people who had a criminal record ended up having guns that were registered to them. Here, you get a criminal record and you have guns on file registered to you. The cops or somebody is coming to, take away your guns, but more of confiscating your guns or having you transfer your guns to somebody else in your family or whatever. They're not going to necessarily take away. They'll take it away from you because you cannot have them anymore. You've been proven that you have, you've done crimes so that you can't have them anymore. So they have to be given to somebody, whether in your family, that also has to go through the whole registration process of being able to accept guns. Only because the FBI doesn't enforce, we already have in place. Okay, so you have the laws, just nobody's enforcing them. So here, I guess that's the difference, is that here in Canada, we have the laws and we enforce them because we haven't had a major school shooting in like 20 years. And like in Australia, for example, they had a school shooting, a bad one, many moons ago. They set in really strict gun laws. They removed, everything. They haven't had one since. And same in England. There was one in England. They haven't had one since last 20, 30 years since they. And there's still guns. Like, there's still guns around. Like, people have them. But there's, like, stricter things. I don't... And what I see on the net and on the news is that there's, like, school shootings, whether small or big, like, every month. Like, I as a Canadian am desensitized to what the limited stuff I see of the American news, because I'm like, oh, it's a school shooting. Oh, it's a shooting in, whatever. Our nation's capital here, Ottawa, has had 17 murders last year. 17. 17. With plenty of laws, if they would just do what they're supposed to do, we would have about half of this crap. Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Who's supposed to be enforcing these laws? The police, your FBI, your CIA, or whatever. Like, the problem is you guys don't seem to. You have, like, the right hand is writing the laws, and the left hand is supposed to be doing the laws, but the left hand doesn't look at the laws, whatever they're supposed to do it. They're just like, they're blaming one another. I've had a very low-powered .22 air rifle, no license or checks needed, but it helps. We are in the UK. Well, the air rifle there, that's for, like, shooting, like, squirrels, right? Like squirrels or groundhogs, or like, is that kind of like a BB gun type thing? Is that the donation? Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, like what your cops and stuff are doing. Because, like, every month we hear of some massive gun-related death where there's more than just, like, it's not like a murder-suicide, like, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill myself type thing. Like, those type of things, we also see those as well. But, like, a mass one where there's, like, people involved that had no relation to the person who owned the gun. And that in itself just, like, boggles my mind. I have no clue, like, even how to understand how you guys could live in, I'm assuming that especially if you live near these places where there are lots of gun violence, that you live in fear. I mean, and you have to own a gun to protect yourselves because of all the bad guns that are out there. Yeah, because, I mean, if you shot somebody, so my mom's cousin used to have, like, a BB gun type thing, and he shot his brother, because this was back in the 40s where there was, like, no safety on things. There was no car seats, there was no seat belts. You got your 5-year-old a BB gun, but he shot his brother in the hand, and it made, like, a hole, like, through the hand, and he had to get surgery and stuff. But you couldn't really kill somebody with it. It would go through the hand because the hand's only, like, half an inch thick, especially on a kid. Okay, but you could shoot a rabbit, but you wouldn't, like, if I shot at a person, it might make a hole. You'd have to be a really good shot to actually make major damage, I would think. Because we're much bigger than a rabbit. But yeah, we can get those up here too. So you can get, like, BB guns or whatever for kids. Oh, hey, Amanda. Hey, Rowan. How was the doggy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
She really doesn't pull it off.
Oh, that's good.
But she's a puppy. I'm like, what?
So, Amanda, are you still at work? She could be on her break. Did you eat all your lunch?
Yeah.
All? Eat it. Eat all your lunch. Yeah, my daughter asked why you were on YouTube if you were at work. I'm like, she could be on her break. I don't question why you're on my YouTube while you're at work.
It's food package thing. I didn't eat.
Why? Oh, that's it? Okay.
It's called squishy.
A squeezy, I think.
What?
Is your daughter scolding me for watching YouTube at work? Yes. She's my responsible one. She was the one that when she was little, she was like a little mummy. When her sister was born, she said, "My baby." I'm like, no. My baby, not your baby, my baby. I sit in the corner, no one can see me, Ella. So Amanda also shares the same birthday as me. She's just a few years younger. Yes. Good for you. Now, did you strategically put your desk in the corner so nobody can see you and see the back of your desk that you're really watching YouTube versus working on a spreadsheet and accounting numbers and stuff? Maybe. Okay, you're funny, Amanda. So what time is it there, Amanda? I know, I'm yelling. Okay, I need to get coffee. 2:58. So you're an hour earlier. Okay, since that's the second yawn, I'm going to heat up my coffee, and I will be back. So, coffee time, everybody. Get coffee. Erk. Yes, I'll get you a snack too. I'll be right back. I'm just getting coffee. Up we go. Oh, my foot hurts. Up. sidekick. Hang it out for you since I can't hear you otherwise.
Can I have something to drink?
Water?
Can you get me some?
Grab your bowl when it's done.
Thank you.
I'm back with coffee. Hey boy, how's it going? Here. Pudding or chocolate pudding? Had 2 cups today. No, it was pork souse. So pork hock. That's what's left of it right now. There's a big bone. And there was meat on it and broth. And onions and pickling spice. So it's pork hock souse. Now I have a recipe that I did last year. I called it Bahamian Souse. And that one I followed a bit of a different recipe versus what I normally do. And I put the sliced cucumbers in, which it was a little bit on the oddish side. Not what I usually do. Hi, Jen. You said you don't say, when people say that what about the other word, they say about. Yeah, I say about. I don't say, oh, the A. I don't say A all the time. What? What? Yes. I meant when you said earlier. Sorry, I meant when you said earlier. You don't say, you know how people say, Canada do say a boot. Yeah, they don't, so people don't say a boot here. They say about. Like, about, out. There's out. The stereotypes of American television. They make us Canadians have a very strong Canadian accent, which really doesn't happen many places. You get a little bit of a stronger accent in the prairies, and you get a stronger accent in the Maritimes. I've heard people saying when they came here to visit, I was like, it's about, but I don't know if they were just, no, Americans, so I've had many Americans say that, and because American television makes it sound like, if you look at How I Met Your Mother, right? The girl with the brown hair, my brain went blank. She was from Canada, right? And she had a like music video, and she was saying about a boot, and it's like, no, nobody says a boot. Like, watch our Canadian television. Watch our hockey players. You know, we're not, or our news. You know, CBC, it's online. It's not, you don't even have to be in Canada. You could go and watch 5 minutes or 10-minute segments of our news. And I'm just going to tear out this bit. Stand up. But yeah, people joke. Like, what? That's more of they're being serious. Oh, they do all the time. And we're fine with it. Make fun of us. We don't really care so much. Makes you guys making fun of us and then coming here going, oh, you don't say a boot? No, we don't say a boot. And we don't have poutine all the time. We don't all live in igloos. I, honest to God, had somebody ask me, this was before YouTube, when I was on a different, like a Facebook group, and I had an American ask me if it was winter here all the time. I'm like, no. Like, in the summertime, we have 41 degrees Celsius, which is like 100 and something degrees Fahrenheit. We have summer just like you guys. We just have winter for a little bit longer for most of Canada. Unless you're in BC, where they have a very mild winter. And even in Toronto, their winters are shorter or less severe, usually. Haven't been to Canada since they required a passport. Not doing it. Getting a passport, well, so that's the thing. I get a passport so I can travel the world. Here, a passport costs, I think $100, and it's good for 5 years. But now we have a 10-year passport, and I think a 10-year passport's like $180 for 10 years, so it's cheaper. There's nothing wrong with it, but we go through security just like you guys go for other countries. But having a passport, you need to have a passport now also on the cruise ships, because you used to be able to go in Miami, like my aunt used to go on the cruise ships without a passport. I would land in these other countries and she didn't need a passport, and now she doesn't have a passport, and because she couldn't come up here to visit until she got one. So my recollection of in Canada is all wrong. Thank you for oh, no problem. Check out some, like, Google Canada. Just basically think of the States. We are pretty much the same as you guys. Like, our fashion is the same, or maybe less. Like, some areas of the country are more fashionable than others. Like, there's lots of major fashion industries and major fashion companies in Montreal, like where all the French designers and all that, the fancy, like, so there's really fancy stuff in Montreal, and they also go to Toronto too. Growing, cooking, eating is just the best thing. I love food. Exactly. I like coming over and shopping at the Hershey store. There's still the Hershey store. We used to have the Hershey factory in Smith Falls, which is actually close to me. But they closed the factory down. There's still the store there. There's still part of it, but it's not as big as it used to be. Like, in Smith Falls, there was two major employers. There was the Hershey factory, and then there was the Smith Falls institution, and that was for adults with developmental and mental problems. And back in the day, in the 70s and below, people who had anybody with a developmental or physical disability, they were encouraged, not just in Canada, in the States, to send them to the institution or the asylum or whatever, and they would take better care of them. You don't need to be burdened, blah, 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 blah. Well, in the 70s and the early 80s and stuff, that became not the right way to do things. And so it was being dismantled, and whoever was left there, because there was no new people going in since the late 80s, all that was left there was being sent out locally to group homes and other places, because you couldn't justify an institution the size of a college campus because it had its own pool, bowling lanes, and a hospital in there. So they never had to even leave the property for 100 patients near the end. Like at one point it had something like 20,000 or something like that. But that was the two major in that city. Now that closed down 20 years ago. And then Hershey, the plant, I think, got changed or got smaller a few years ago. So there's quite a lot of unemployment in Smith Falls, or they've moved out of Smith Falls to the other towns. Okay, do restaurants take American money? No, they'll take American. So it's better. It's usually better if you have Canadian money. They will take American money. Like Walmart will take American money. They will do the exchange rate of whatever it is, whatever the bank said it was at the beginning of the week or whatever's in their best advantage. So you're probably better to exchange it for Canadian money and get a certain amount exchanged. If you come to Canada for vacation, bring your American money. And then every day or so, exchange a portion of it for Canadian money. So you don't have excess of Canadian money. Like that's what we do when we go to the States. We go and exchange our Canadian money for American money because it's available. It's accepted in other places like Dominican Republic and all that stuff. Because the exchange rate on the Canadian money is usually less because they get less of it, while American money, they can use it for exchange for other goods too. So, but yeah, I've seen people go to Walmart and something came up at say $67 Canadian, and they ask, well, how much is that American? Because I have American money, and they're like, okay, well, let's say $60 American is $75 Canadian, so here's the change, but you get the change back in Canadian. Like, you're not going to get the change in American equivalent. Then at the end, you can exchange your Canadian money to American money at your bank at home or before you leave. And at first you'll be like, I get all this, and then you'll see what it's worth. Yeah, exactly. Well, our dollar right now is not too bad. Our dollar, I think, is about $1.15. Hey Google, what is the value of the Canadian dollar? Are you gonna listen to me? I don't think she's gonna listen to me. Ah! Knock stuff down. At least it didn't land on my computer. This is what happens when I have too many things here.
Something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
Thanks, I gave up on you. Already. I was just gonna Google it. Yeah, our dollar at Christmas time was kind of sucky. It was like $1.20, $22. While in the summertime, it was almost at par with you guys. Actually, for a little while there, our dollar was better than your dollar. So, one Canadian dollar is 80 cents right now, so it's $1.20 according to the exchange rate. So it's not great. It was $1.15 earlier this week, I think. Ooh, making pizza. Yum, yum, yum. See, I like homemade pizza, especially if it's a nice thick crust. Especially if you fill the crust with cheese. So you just put cheese on the edge and roll over the edge and make it nice thick crust so there's cheese. So when you break apart, you got this gooey cheese. But I like cheese. Did pull ahead for a little while. Yeah, we did pull ahead. I think we pulled ahead when your president came into office. No offense. Um, and then it's evened out, but we're usually about $1.15, $1.20. Not usually much worse than that. It all depends on oil and all the other stuff too. And yeah, well, I just got online. It's like $1.79 US. So I just googled Canadian dollar. That's what it says. But it was we were getting. It also depends on your recession and also trade agreements and all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. But like the recession, this most recent recession hit you guys like way more than Canadians up here. Like there was pockets in Canada that it did affect pockets, like small places in cities. But from what we heard from your recession, like banks taking back houses, and a lot of people just squatting in houses because they can't afford the mortgage and all that stuff, and a lot of people losing their jobs. Yes, we had a lot of people lose their jobs, and so we had a lot of people lose good paying jobs, but there was other jobs that was lower paying and not, well, we still have a lot of minimum wage jobs, but in the middle road jobs that people took instead. So during the recession, before the recession, they were better off, but they were like, say, high income families, and then now they're about middle income. But I don't know of any, like, not really a lot of places that had to take back houses and stuff like that. And when they do, they don't sell them for dirt cheap. One of my husband's coworkers bought a house in Florida for like $15,000, and he's renovated it, and he has somebody who manages it, and he goes there for vacations and stuff like that. He rents it out to people to go on vacations. We got it for like $15,000. You can't get land here for $15,000. Home value up there is going to burst. Oh yeah, oh, in Toronto it's definitely going to burst. It's gone crazy. Here in Ottawa it's been rising like significantly. Like our house, when we bought it, we paid $206. It was valued at $225. We paid $206. Like they wanted $209, and during that time it was there was lots of houses on the market, so they lowered their rates to $206. So we got a good value, and over the last 15 years, this house is worth, without upgrades, bare minimum of $300,000 or $350, because we had to redo our mortgage, and then they had to do a assess of our house, and it was like I think $330. So, and that's a townhouse. So that's our house is 1,700 square feet, not including the basement. And see, we do things both imperial and metric here, because we do square feet for houses. We don't do square meters, and we do kilometers for distance, and we do height as, like, I'm 5'4.25". I don't do 167 centimeters or whatever it is. Our sales flyers show the flyers as per pound in big print, and then per kilogram in smaller print. But when you're doing your receipt, it only has the per kilogram. So we're a confused country. We do a little bit of both because we deal a lot with the States. So a lot of our products that we get imported in here come from the States, and therefore have American ounces and pounds and stuff versus grams. Called the Money GPS. He's from Canada. That's not a healthy situation up there. No, depending on where you are. Where we are in Ottawa, it's not bad because we have a high-tech sector. Like where we are in Ottawa, we're kind of a unique subgroup because we have the government, which is not going anywhere. They don't do a lot of firings and stuff like that, so it's kind of stable environment there. We have the high-tech sector up here in Canada, near where I live. It's called like Silicon Valley of the North, where there's so many of the high-tech companies up here that have their Canadian offices here. That it's crazy, right? And then we have some manufacturing and industrial stuff, as well as retail, as well as literally 5 minute drive. We're in agriculture. We're in farmland, so it's very diverse versus just a one shop pony. You know, our in here. In other parts of Canada, so Toronto is crazy. Like it's like my friend just sold. So him and his wife, had been previously married, no kids, either of them. They both had townhouses in just outside of Toronto, which were worth about 400,000 at least. They both sold both of them to buy an apartment closer to downtown Toronto for like $1 million, like $1 million. And they just have, well, I mean, they have good paying jobs, but that's crazy. 300K for a 1,700 square foot is not right. I paid cash for 12 acres and a 13 square. Yeah. Well, Toronto. No, 500K for an apartment. $1 million for an apartment downtown. 500K for maybe a townhouse. Like a house with any type of backyard or front yard, you're looking at 750K to $1 million. Well, yeah, there's also a shortage of houses in Toronto. So my friend bought this townhouse there, not this townhouse apartment that's close to downtown. Nice building, and it's brand new. It's being built, right? He paid like $1 million for 2, maybe 3 bedroom apartment. I don't know. For an apartment. Yes, that does cut down drive to his work and his wife's work. Okay, which of itself costs, because where he lived before, just out in the outskirts, cost him over an hour to get into work and back. So that costs, and either he drove or he took public transportation, which costs money. Now he just has to take a lesser amount of public transportation, and he can get to work in like 15 minutes. I bought a house on Vancouver, 25K back in the 70s. It recently sold 5.5 million. Yeah, exactly. Well, Vancouver's another spot that it's gone like crazy. Crazy. Ottawa, not so much. We have a little bit of craziness here in Canada, like where I live. It's because it's been recently boomed-ish, and we're near the high-tech sector. So it's a much wanted area. But that's why our place is worth more than what we paid for it. Yes, that was my cat. I'm looking around my house. Yeah, that was my Sushi. She was meowing at me. I don't know why. No, that was the cat meowing at me. Either she wants me to clean her kitty litter. She doesn't need water or food because I filled them up this morning. So, I don't know. She just does that sometimes. She's weird. Or that her person's asleep and not paying attention to her. That's also the case. Can't find an agriculture property for under 350K. Yeah, well, and that's another thing. So our agriculture is also raised higher too. Like I was gonna say, you can't get land here like you can in the States. Well, sorry, you can't get good land here like you can get in the States. You could get some really crappy land, very rocky, not much soil, lots of trees land a little bit further north for cheap. But it's not, you have to do a lot of amendments to the land to make it like agriculture. Or use it for something else other than agriculture. Like Google's being weird. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't have much land. Like, I have a townhouse. I don't have much backyard or front yard.
There was a glitch. Try again in a few seconds.
I didn't try nothing. Seriously, sometimes. But yeah, no, I've heard stuff in the States, like you can get a house for $55,000. You also have to look at your income, too. Our minimum wage here in Ontario just went up to $14. Next year it'll be $15. It was at 11, I think. Well, as I said, I think it's because I'm streaming and my kid downstairs is using the television, so accessing the internet more. Remember the whole tethering stuff? So glitch the Matrix, yes. Yes, for sure. You've cursed the Google. No, it's okay, cancel. Cancel. It heard its name.
Sorry, something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
I tried to say cancel. So, yeah, I have friends who have bought a little cabin out in the country, but the further they are from Ottawa, the cheaper it is. But still, it's like, oh, there's Sushi again. What? Come here. You gonna come? Come here, Sushi. Come. I'll pet you. You have to come up there, though. Meow. Are you gonna come up here? Here, come here. Here. Oh. Okay. I can't even pick you up. You're a skittish little cat. Come here. No, I know you can get up there. Yeah, Sushi. She's black and white with green eyes. But she's big and fat. Me too, escaping. I only have two. I have Princess and I have Sushi. Usually Princess is the one that will come up here and start being all lovey and climb on me in a live stream. She comes for her love. Yeah, I'm a cat person. I like dogs too, but the only thing with dogs is that they're more high maintenance. They're always eating stuff, chewing on stuff. They need to go for walks. They can't be left alone all day. Show your house. Within 30 kilometers of Ottawa for heaviest commute. Well, yeah. And it's probably cheaper on the Quebec side, too. Like, you have cheaper land and housing over there in Quebec than we do in Ontario. But you guys have more taxes, I believe, than we do. So. Because I know when we were first looking to buy a house, we contemplated of getting something on the Gatineau side. And then we looked at the market value and the resale value. And it was not as good as on the Ontario side. 10 acres. Mixed crop. Bush and a pond. We love this. Well, have you checked in like places like Almont and Carleton Place on this side. Nothing cheap in Quebec anymore because, yeah. I was going to say the cheap places here. There's Kinburn. Like, that's just further west of where I am. Kinburn, Kempville, Carleton Place. Almont is a little bit posh. So a lot of people go there to, like, kind of retire, and that's where all the little posh stores are. Little handmade, organic, grass-fed, whatever is. But Carleton Place, Kinburn, Smith Falls is also that's a little bit too far to commute to Ottawa, though. 10 acres is massive compared to my tiny. Yeah, but hubby works east. Well, you mean actually Rockland. So my friend just has bought a house a few years ago in Rockland. My kids don't want to be. Yeah, no jobs, especially if you're English. A property up here from us has a nice house, many 25 acres with a creek, 250K. Wow. I got crumbs. I got crumbs. Check in Rockland or Clarence Creek. Both those are within driving distance to Ottawa. My friend who lives out there, she drives all the way to Canada for a job that she does, as well as in Ottawa. And it's about 40-minute drive, though, to Canada. 45-minute. But what else is in the East End? But even the houses, so the same house in Orleans compared to Canada is cheaper in Orleans. Yeah, my friend only has, I think, an acre and a half. But it's just land to her, like. Cool. Yeah, if you find something, it's sometimes better to just rent your old place. You're going to lose on anything in Canada if you buy right now. Quite possibly. It depends on, I guess, because we want to get a four-wheeler to zip around. But can't you go zipping around the land that's like not capital land, Queensland, what's it called? You've hit your peak. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, but it would be worth is probably about as much as she'd pay. Like in Clarence Creek and Rockland, there's nothing there. Like my friend, where she lives, she works at the pharmacy / store that's there. There's another store in town and a grocery store, and that's pretty much it. Like there's not a lot going on. Crownland, thank you. I'm like, started with a C. I'm like, the Queensland. Because you could drive around on Crownland with your ATVs or the trails. Eh, did not know that. Well, then they should tell the people that are driving their ATVs on the hiking trails that they shouldn't be doing that. It'll be worth less than a year. No. Wait a year or two to buy. Hello. Why? What's happening in a year or two that you have your ear to the ground for? Our housing market is about to crash. Yeah, but I think it's only about to crash in big places like Toronto and Vancouver. I think the rest of the country's housing market is fairly like housing versus need. Like here we don't have enough low income housing for the people who need it. But there's always new builds being built for people who want to buy a new house. Mm. Yeah, well, I'm sure you could still find some good deals. Especially if a piece of property has been on the market for a long time. You might be able to get the property but not the house you want. But you could always renovate the house to be the house you want. You can't renovate the property to get any bigger than what it is. And sometimes you could just get the property with like maybe even a little cabin on it and put an RV and live there for a year while you build a house or get one built or whatever. Which in the end will be worth way more. Problem is financing. Renovation is just as expensive as just paying the mortgage. Yeah, it's kind of like when we were looking at houses, there was one house that we contemplated buying. It was a bungalow, so it had a large piece of land in comparison to this place. But it was older, and we contemplated the amount of renovations that would be needed just to make it livable for my family. Kitchen reno is 20K. Yeah, my kitchen reno was 20K, and my kitchen's freaking small. And I did the IKEA kitchen, and I paid somebody to install it. And it turned out to be 20K. So if you can reach more than your hands width of your kitchen, that's a pretty good kitchen. I mean, my kitchen's long. I've made it into a galley kitchen versus an eat-in kitchen. It used to be a long eat-in kitchen without much cupboard space. And I took away that space near the window and I put cupboards. Because that's why I needed, just for the way that I shop for my family. But yeah. Happened in the US until it was going to happen in Canada. Same thing, different date. Now, the government is going to save us, but we're not as overinflated as you guys were in the States. And plus, it affected you guys more because you have just more numbers. Like, your population, like, all of, like, Canada, I believe, all of Canada is the population of California. Like, it's, like, Ottawa is our city, our nation's capital, is just over a million or just under a million, depending on who you ask. Like, Toronto's like 4 billion or 3 billion. And that's the most of any of the cities, you know. Most of our cities have a couple 100,000. That's it. And then those are big cities, like, well, I would consider big cities or major cities. Ones that would have a public transportation. The money GPS. I think you should be prepared. Oh yeah, we'll be prepared. I will check them out. We'll put the link. I'll put that in to watch. Because I do like to. That's kind of why I do what I do. Why I keep about 3 months worth of food in my house. And why I purchase food on sale and stock up when it's on sale, so I don't have to pay regular price. of stuff for in case things like this, or all of a sudden cauliflowers again, $8. When they're changing the rules now, need 25% down payment. No. An average house, 300K, that's 75K. Not too many people have that in coin. Yep. What about new homeowners? Is it still 10%? Yep. It's 40% down payment. See, I don't know these things. I know we bought our house. It was our first house. We had to have, I think, 5% or 10% down. Yep. And my friend got sort of screwed out in the... So she went from Canada. She owned her home. Still owed money on it. So the mortgage. She was able to sell her home more than what her mortgage was worth. So she got to sell her home for, I think, $410. Like, it was a single home. $410. She paid like $350 10 years ago. So she still owed, let's say, 200 grand on it. So she had about 200 grand in her pocket from the sale of the home, which was good. So then she bought a house. She went out in the country and she bought a house near Perth, and bought a house because it was kind of an impulsive buy. She liked the house, but then there was all this other stuff that needed to get done. So she got kind of burnt there. So she bought the house for, let's say, 300 grand. So she owed now 100 grand. And then she only lived there for a year. And she bought another house, which was like her dream house. But selling the house, she sold it actually a little bit less than what she paid for it, because she had overpaid because she didn't haggle the price down. So the money she got back, she still had to owe, and she got another place. So now she's in a worse spot mortgage-wise, because she owes more on the house than what it's worth. And she doesn't have that amount of years to pay on it. But it's, at least she was able to get a bit of a smaller mortgage, but interest rates were, I don't know what they were, but they were fairly low at the time. Yeah, I'll pop over there. And he's Canadian? Oh, I got a tickle in my throat. Cool. Well, thank you very much. I'm living in an older home. Just want big outbuilding garage. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I gained 10 subscribers today. That's interesting. Well, it's almost 5 o'clock. I should get going and having supper. I have to still do all that prep work. It's been wonderfully chatting with you guys and having lunch and people popping in and popping out. And I will definitely check out the Money GPS guy. That's quite interesting. And I like the fact that he's Canadian, so he has a more rounded understanding of, like, see, what happens in the States usually follows through in Canada. Yeah, true. Um, well, we've been saying that for years. There has to be a limit. There has to be a thing. But Toronto, like this past summer, like it was crazy. Like people were willing to spend thousands and thousands of dollars more than what the selling price was for a house. So if the house was listed for 500 grand, they came in offering 600 grand. So there was a bidding war for a house that wasn't worth 600 or 750 grand. And then it kind of sort of, there was a little crash, little bump, that now, like, it happened during a few people's closing dates, and then people backed off. So then the house that they thought they sold now has to be relisted, and they had already bought another house. You know? Oh, Toronto. Yeah, well, not real. So that's the thing. The way we do banking is a little bit different. So I don't know if it's going to affect us as a whole as much as the state. So in the States, it was everywhere that was overinflated, right? Here, it's a few of the major cities where it's completely overinflated, just because there's just not enough housing, and people are willing to spend exorbitant amounts in Toronto and Vancouver, maybe even Montreal, but not so much in Ottawa. Like, there's not $1 million homes here. There's like 500 grand homes, but as much as it will be property value. Yeah, possibly property value going down. Well, especially in Toronto, but the property value isn't high because it's self-inflated. So just because it says it's worth 500 grand, people are still buying it for 750 because of where it's located. Like, people are stupid. And that's the thing. But it's been wonderfully chatting with you guys. And yeah. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Especially if you owe more than 30K on the home. If you only own 30K on the home, then you don't feel so bad. But if you still owe 200K on the home and it's now only worth 30K, that's why people were walking away. Because they're like, it's not even worth it. And I think that's too low for housing. Have a good day. See you tomorrow morning about 8:30. Oh, hi 50 chickens. I'm just heading off. I'm going to be on. Yes, happened. Thanks, Jen, for the first time to pop by. Thank you for popping by and sharing the love. I'll go live tomorrow about 8:30. No, we haven't seen those low numbers since, like, the 50s, the 40s. Yeah. So we still have housing shortage. So there'll still be a need. You won't get that low. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.